Hey everybody, it's Chad Warren. Hope you're well. You can find me here at Facebook at, I think it's Chad Warren and the number 1. You can find me at Twitter at ChadWarren76 and at my website, chadwarren.me. So I'm meeting with you today and every day in general to live love through sharing and receiving truth to break us out of subjugation to which we're all born in the whole world. Because of things like Christianity and science that's controlled by the Vatican. So, let's look here. The Hebrew God Yahweh is Satan. That's a pretty big claim, isn't it? Okay, we've got a picture of Yahweh and El, the Hebrew, picture of Jesus, and a picture of God. We've got the god Saturn that goes by other names. I don't know. Is it Jupiter? No. Saturn, let's see, is Chronos, right? Like a chronograph, which is like Father Time, right? And then you see there's this symbol where it's got obviously the Christian cross and a shepherd's crook, which is similar to the question mark, which has a fancy name called a circumpunct. And then he's got the scythe that's used for harvesting grain crops, right? Did you know? And then we've got Trump and Jesse James given the bull or devil sign. It's also used by the University of Texas UT, the Hook'em Horns, right? Which is a bull, okay? By bull, okay? Did you know that the Hebrew god Yahweh is Satan, Saturn, Chronos, the Grim Reaper? You know, the Grim Reaper at New Year's Eve. What's that? Is that Old Lang Syne's? I forgot what that means exactly. Should old acquaintance be forgot? You know, there's like the new year comes in as a baby and the old year goes out as the old man. Okay? And then we have something that we all experience. We all come from parents, and some of us have children. So I have a 9-year-old, about to be 10-year-old son. And there's another image of Saturn where he's like eating the child, which is an uncomfortable image. But all of us, whether we have children or whether we're communicating on social media or expressing in any way, are both children of the world that we came from in the past, and then our individual identity that we express through our thoughts, feelings, and actions is the children of both the influences on us and the choices that we make about what we're affecting the reality as well. You can't help but do that. So when a parent is both having a child that will go on beyond us and is its own identity, yet we're programming that identity of the child, I'm going to enjoy watching the 70s movie Kenny and Company, made by Don Coscarelli, who made Phantasm, which is also another favorite movie of my youth. I am involved in indoctrinating my son into my 70s movie cult, and he has indoctrinated me into his Godzilla cult. Know all the different names of these movies, has seen them all, and yada yada. Moses said not to worship the golden calf because Yahweh hated his dad, Baal, Taco Bell, saved by the bell. Saturn's day is when people worshiped. Saturday. God has a harvest with his scythe that he harvests, a harvest of souls, us, you. We were born to be consumed, just like a vineyard of grapes is turned into wine to be drunk. So that's where a lot of uncomfortability happens, is that we are both predator and prey. And then you have people that, they want to choose to be vegan because they're like, that is abhorrent, that you're eating meat. And it's like, well, that seems weird to me because, I understand you don't want to abuse animals or people or yourself or whatever. But I mean, you by that virtue you would argue that life itself is evil, that it is abusing people. But it's not abusing people because we're not the physical body, we are this spirit. Consciousness cannot be controlled by machines. And even though Elon Musk's neural link, as if we weren't addicted and controlled by our access to artificial reality in the form of a city, or now we have this virtual reality with the smartphone, and then it's just getting more and more. So the trick of it is you can mimic real life but you can't actually copy or control or own life. You can fool people that are alive to take wooden nickels and fiat money and Donald Trump. But it doesn't make it true just because it's popular, the lingua franca. God's Son is a shepherd who raises us as sheep for the slaughter. It's interesting that later you'll see this word study about Elohim, that the Bible says Yahweh is Elohim, but he is the head of these other sons of God, these other gods, small g God. So that's even according to the Jewish Torah, the Old Testament. The word sheep can be singular, there's a sheep over there, or look at all those sheep, right? It depends on what is that, an article? Is, are, whatever. The grammar changes, and it's the same with Elohim. It can be either singular or plural. That's just, I'm observing, that's interesting. I don't know how many words there are like that. And then the whole question of, why would that be a good thing to be sheep, These are all interesting questions, like in India they have holy cows that just wander around. Obviously, these animals were wild at some point, but we only know cattle and sheep as farmed animals. And then we have the phrase crook. Man, what a bunch of crooks. Criminals, right? And so that's not good to be a crook, is it? And then there's some kind of commentary in there about being a nomad, where maybe you live and you like Native Americans or people in Africa, and you know, you maybe eat an animal, but you don't have agriculture. Agriculture is about consolidating wealth. So that's important, like we're so distant from reality that it's like these are very confusing concepts in our modern world, where we depend on money to pay for our rent. But, and to where we have problems like Trump bragging about how many people are employed. There's much better employment numbers. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot more people that work jobs and live in their car. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that a problem? Like, that people are stupid? I mean, we're supposed to either be getting better or conserve what we did have. I don't see that we're doing either. What I'm saying here is that all of this is interconnected. Okay? The problem with, and it's not just Trump. It doesn't matter if you pick the Democrats. I'm just choosing him. I get more upset about Trump because he's pretending to be conservative, and I get upset with the concept of conservatism, right? Because I would be more of an anarchist, saying, look, I'm here downtown Little Rock. I enjoy the benefits of the city. I'm going to go to the library and do some study, work on my website and my online job, and use their Wi-Fi, charge my batteries. So I admit my relation to this artificial world. I don't claim to be totally free or perfect or whatever. But it doesn't make any sense to be talking about corruption in government. It doesn't make any sense to say, hey, this terrorist attack on 9/11, that is an inside job by the dancing Israelis, the Mossad, and then to pick Trump as your solution to that problem. Has he done anything about that? No. Did you know that the original person that was in charge of the investigation for 9/11 says it was a scam, that he wasn't given any time or money to do it properly, and that there's a lawyers committee that has sued the FBI? You don't probably know that because you don't think for yourself. You're a football fan. You wait for them to show you the program, and then you respond. Same with the Democrats, good Lord. That's what's the problem, is that there's nothing going on with impeachment. That's ridiculous. I totally understand the Trump supporters. I agree with them. It just looks completely ridiculous how stupid the left is. But the right is stupid too, because if you don't want there to be corruption, if you value the founding fathers and the American Revolution, then you shouldn't support Trump. He's talking about using artificial intelligence to decide who gets to have a gun or not. I thought you were for the Second Amendment. He is saying that if you boycott Israel, the state of Israel, because they are shooting old women and young children, Palestinians that are just standing over there, like as if I was just sitting here right now, saying, hey, they are totally screwing us over. Bam! I'm shot dead. Why do you support that? Oh, well, Chad, we got to have Israel because there's these evil Muslims. I don't know any evil Muslims. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not, but I'm saying the being threatened by the CIA that's staging terrorist events in the United States, money, and I can't question that. And then having Israel run the Congress, there's 27 Congress people that have dual loyalty to Israel, which means that they choose Israel first because of their Zionist religious beliefs. And then you're mad at me saying I'm hateful to Jewish people? No, that's not true. There's all kinds of Jewish people that don't think that they should have forcibly entered Israel. That God kicked them out of there because they were not doing the right thing. That's their belief. There's a lot of Israelis that do believe in the state of Israel and don't believe in the way that these Palestinians are being treated. Hey, this doesn't make sense. We were treated unfairly. That's why we got the damn nation to begin with, to stop all this shit. And then, God, just the crazy shit that you believe. Oh yeah, Trump, he didn't go to war with Iran. He's stopping military spending. No, he's not. If he is, it's only because we don't have money to do that anymore, and that the United States is handing over your military dominance that you love to Russia and China, which is why he's friends with Kim Jong-un. And Vladimir Putin. And all of this affects the whole education system. Okay? You're taught what to think, not how to think. I only believe in science. This is one of the people, San Hen, who's laughing. He's appealing to ridicule. Oh, Chad, he's stupid. He's saying all this stuff that's not approved by the government. I'm against the deep state. I do whatever Trump says. That's what I do. Crikey Moses think it's deep and sends love. Byron Parker sends a link. We're going to look at that. I checked that out. John Shatke quotes the Bible about the Lord. Mention about the Elohim and I'm saying, look, this is a master race theology that focuses the slaves on one God, but then teaches its leaders, like Trump, who thinks this Kabbalah teacher, right? This is not Judaism. This is Sabbateanism. This is Satanism. It is the Talmudic Jews that when the Jews were in Babylon, they picked up all this information about the stuff that we discuss on the internet today, about all this hidden apocryphal books of the past, and the rabbis, these experts, then said, no, you know what? Screw the Torah. What's more important is our interpretation of it, which they created their own. They took it over. So the whole Judeo Christian thing is about taking this hidden knowledge and cobbling together this belief system to use as a psychological operation weapon, right? To talk to people about freedom, to talk to people about God and all these things that are important and good, but then to be, lying to people and stealing and tricking and perverting. So it doesn't matter that you're like, well, I don't do any of that. I'm a Christian. I'm good. You are the sheep. You're the porch mason. You're the person at the front, like they do over there in the Middle East. If like, oh, let's put a little kid with a bomb, have him walk to the square and blow up. That's what the sheep do. So let's look at this link here that Byron Parker shared. I don't know what this is. Corporation Nation Radio Archive.
Sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone the way of life. Poison and tools has barricaded the world with hate. We think too much and feel too little. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. And all will be lost. All will be lost. Do not despair. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. Dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. Will return to the people. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world to do away with greed. Now let us fight to free the world, to fulfill that promise. Let us all unite. Greetings and welcome, folks. You're in the Corporation Nation. This is Clint, your host. It is the 9th of March, 2015, and I'm excited to say that we have 2 days with our guest, Dr. Scott McQuaid, who is, quite an acclaimed author internationally. He lectures, he does all kinds of things. He's got lots of books, which we'll talk about tonight. You can go to his website at scottmcquaid.com or Paxion Publishing. That's Paxeon Publishing. You can find all his works. And we'll talk about his other websites tonight as we go along. I don't want to delay tonight. I don't want to get into anything in a pre-discussion, but I will say that we've been talking on this show about Gillard's work, which is simulation or simulacra and simulation. And one of the things I've come to really understand after listening to some of Scott's other interviews is that the Bible itself is a simulacra. And we're going to explain that as we go on. Remember that a simulacra, folks, means
weird concept,
on.
isn't it?
For now, welcome, Scott. Welcome to the show. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Well, we already introduced.
Okay, so I'm going to have the links at my chadwarren.me website for you to check out that podcast, and we'll learn more about the doctor and the show and all that. But basically what he's going to be talking about is he's a Christian, I assume he's a doctor of theology. When they're talking about a simulacrum, this copy without an original, it's like I was saying earlier, the Jews just copied, these stories are not original. You've all heard this stuff before, but it doesn't matter if you've heard it. We've got to really understand what this means and how it's connected with us today and the actions that we need to take. So the Epic of Gilgamesh talks about animals being brought onto a boat like the Noah's Ark story, and it all goes on and on. There's all kinds of comparative religious study about how unoriginal the concepts of the are. So stealing is bad, right? You shouldn't steal a movie, right? You should pay for it. I agree with those concepts. You know what I mean? I need to be negotiable on it. I might, hey, I saw a movie. We use the internet. We're using other people's sources and referencing them like I'm doing right now. But I mean, I pay for podcasts. I pay for movies. I pay for YouTube. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about here, is this hypocritical thing where the rich people don't have to, and are stealing and then putting us all in jail if we do it. So that's the issue, is that if you think you're for law and order, if you think you're for conservative values, but you're supporting these institutions, you're supporting a bunch of thieves. So that's not hateful for me to say that. I'm saying I'm the person that's being conservative. I'm the person that's saying that we need to understand that government is, like James True says, a patchwork of agreements, right? You got to keep your word and do what you say you're going to do. And we all struggle with that. You know what I mean? But it doesn't help to just defer to these external authorities. That causes the corruption. The slaves are just as responsible as this master class for all the corruption. And then pointing fingers to Mexicans and Muslims and everybody but ourselves and each other. So there is no origin of the Bible. There's the Nag Hammadi text, there's the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's all these things, but there's no original text. And it's not like it came from these shepherds in oral tradition alone, from just the Jews. So the same people, the Zionists, right, that Hitler founded Israel. So they're on both sides of this. They're the ones that are doing, oh, you can't be racist. Oh, but we are the master race. That's what's going on here. America's the bastion of freedom. Oh, but we're the imperial stormtroopers frickin' bossing everybody around. Israel's in control of America, but we're this free nation. This is this grand. So, go to chadwarren.me. And I want you to support my work for the folk, okay? As any of humanity is going to struggle, okay? So, I'm making sacrifices, right? I am working at Instacart, waiting for them to call me and say that I can work today. I'm on the wait list, right? Because I'm not going to drive all the way up to Cabot and waste gas to sit there and not be called into work. I'm working with Appen online. I'm building pallet tables. I'm excited about that. And I'm waiting for the legs to come in. I ordered those today. But I bought tools to do that. I'm very excited about that. So I am doing my best to get out of Babylon. You understand me? Not just for me, but so that my son can grow up and live something close to the life of spirit and goodness that we talk about, but then turn around and don't do. Right? So, yeah, I need help with my rent. You know, I need food literally to eat. These are choices that I'm making, but I'm asking for your help. And it's uncomfortable, but I'm serious about it. It's a PayPal link. You can help me out by donating money, just like I give money to Josh Reeves and Freeman Fly and other people, because you have to choose what side you're on. And that's why Byron shared that link, and I said, I'm going to look at this. That's the choice. Are you going to be somebody that's going to do the right thing, or are you going to go along to get along? And you can ask me for help and ask me to, that's what we're talking about here. Transferring into a folk community that is genuine, both online and